Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling.
Hi, this is Arthur Robinson Jr. I'm the creator of PowerfulInterviews.com. I am the creator of Audio Secrets Training Event.com. I want to welcome each and every one of you to this phenomenal video. In this interview, you're going to experience life-changing information that you will not find anywhere else. I have secured an incredible interview with a great friend of mine, international speaker, mega millionaire, the phenomenal Tom Hopkins. Tom Hopkins is an international speaker, and in this interview, he's going to reveal underground information on how anyone can learn and master the art of selling. Tom Hopkins, at the age of 21, sold 364 homes when he was 21 years old as a real estate agent. Tom Hopkins is the best-selling author of his phenomenal book, How to Master the Art of Selling, and much, much more. So remember, this is not bullshit information. The correct information will change your situation. Wealthy people take advice from other wealthy people, and unfortunately, broke people take advice from broke people. But I love what Warren Buffett says, the multi-billionaire. He said, the more you learn, the more you earn. So right about now, go get your pen and your pad, sit back and relax, and write down some notes. In this interview that I'm going to reveal to you with my great friend, international speaker, best-selling author, the master of selling, Tom Hopkins. This interview is going to change your life. So check it out.
I have a wonderful person on the call, and he's a great friend of mine. His name is Tom Hopkins. And for those that don't know Tom, let me explain to each and every one of you about this incredible, powerful man. Tom Hopkins wasn't born to wealth and privilege. He was a mediocre student and began his work life in construction carrying steel. At the age of 19, he was married with a child on the way and trying to find a better way to support his young family. Since Tom wasn't afraid of meeting new people and was known to be somewhat talkative, someone suggested he try selling. After looking around at the people who were dressed well and driving new cars, he decided on the field of real estate. At that time, Tom was considered an old man's profession. There weren't many women in the field and certainly no teenagers. It took Tom several years to pass his licensing exam, but he eventually succeeded. The next hurdle was to find someone to hire him. Visiting real estate offices around town on his way home from his construction job, Tom quickly learned the negative impact of the first impressions he was making. Eventually, one office manager took pity on him and gave him a job. Tom was instructed to show up at the next office meeting in a suit, not his construction clothes. There was only one challenge. Tom didn't own a suit. He did, however, have a uniform from a band, and he'd been during high school. And that is an awesome, impressive resume. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome the one, the only, the powerful Tom Hopkins to the show.
Well, thank you. That was very nice. Arthur, appreciate you taking the time to spend with us.
Well, I'd like to thank you, Tom, for taking time out of your busy schedule to educate me and the listeners worldwide about the power of the sales industry. I gladly appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Now, what I'd like to know, and can you explain to the listeners in layman's terms, who is the powerful Tom Hopkins? How long you been in your powerful industry, and what is your expertise?
Well, I basically, as you mentioned, I didn't do real well in school, and finally I got into real estate after carrying steel, and luckily I found my niche, and I think the people listening, I hope for them, the business they're in, the career they have, is really a niche for them, and a niche is you find something that you do for your living that you love that really isn't work. anyone that I found over the years that's highly paid and becomes financially well-to-do, the type of golfer, the Tiger Woods, the Phil Mickelson, the type of actor or actress in movies that are famous, I think these people did well because they found a niche, which is something they love to do. And that's really what real estate was for me, Arthur. I just loved it. I loved helping families find their homes and get them settled on the property. And, of course, this is back so many years ago, but I did that in my best year in real estate. I had a record-breaking year. I sold 365 homes in 1 year, which is an average of one home a day, which had never been done in real estate. And because of that, the National Association of Realtors said, we got to have this kid. I was only 22 at the time. We have to have him come to the national convention and share how he could sell that many homes. Because the average real estate agent, if they sell one home a week, 4 a month, they are considered one of the highest paid, best realtors in the area. So this is why they got me to speak, and that's kind of how my speaking career started. And then I wrote my first book, How to Master the Art of Selling, in 1979, and it's been a perennial bestseller, thank goodness. And since I've written 18 books, and it's just been a wonderful life, Arthur. So that's kind of my career. Every week I get on a plane and fly somewhere in the world of free enterprise and do seminars. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm here in Arizona. I'm home. Just flew in from a seminar tour, and so I'm in for another 3 or 4 days, and out I go again.
Now, you basically create information products by becoming a international published author. What is your royalty on the books that you publish, and would you say that your book is your business card?
Well, I think I've had so many people that say, I've got a book inside of me, I want to write a book, and the challenge is you have to do it. And my first book took me almost 3 years to write, to create, to get published, and so forth. And the next 17 I've done quite easier and faster. But I think everybody should write a book. But I will say this, there's not a tremendous amount of income. I've sold over 3 million books, but the main income is not the royalty on a book. That is the business card, as you said, the door opener, and you raise to a whole new level of accomplishment when you are an author, especially if you are fortunate to have a New York best-selling book. And so I try to get people that say, I'm going to write a book, to say, okay, get started. I don't care if you have to, take a tape recorder or some recording device and just talk into it, and then get a ghostwriter and let him help you and get your book out there, because it adds such credibility to be an author. And that's one thing that I try to get people to want to become. Many people want to become speakers and do what I do as far as seminars. And again, the product is the important part. Our seminars generate a nice revenue, but our books and CDs and DVDs, the product is really where the profit to the company comes, more in the CD and DVD area today.
Now, the speaking industry, that's a $780 billion industry, so it's huge right now. And we have entrepreneurs and business owners that's on the show today in the process of pursuing a speaking career. Would you suggest, when they are building their momentum as a professional speaker, should they charge a fee or should they speak for free when they're starting out as a professional speaker?
Well, it really depends. Like when I started, after that, the National Association of Realtors invited me to speak, I fell in love with teaching and speaking and motivating people, and I did it almost for free for the first 2 or 3 years. Now, of course, if there was a company that was out of the state, yes, I'd have them pay my airfare and hotel. But I had a very low fee in the beginning. And I think what you have to realize is no one will pay to hear you until they hear you, but in a way they can't hear you until they pay you. And that's one reason why I stayed in real estate for 3 years, still selling lots of homes when I was building my speaking career. But I had one great old friend speaker say, you keep increasing your fee till no one will pay it, and then you know you're getting enough. So in other words, I started off at almost free for 3 years. Then I started adding on to that. And of course, one thing that's happened in the speaking industry is the superstars, the Laura Bushes, the Barbara Bushes, the Colin Powells, the General Schwarzkopfs. These folks have come into the speaking arena, and they get $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. Larry King gets $50,000 for 45 minutes. So they have increased the ability for people that are in the speaking field to increase their fees. But I think anyone who's going to become a speaker, there's a couple keys. You really have to maybe start speaking in an area that you have been an expert in. Like for my first 5 years, all I did were real estate seminars because that was my 8-year background. And then all of a sudden, when How to Master the Art of Selling became a bestseller, which was not just real estate, I started spreading out, and I don't think, Arthur, there's an industry that has salespeople in the country that I haven't done a custom seminar for. And, you know, where I'm over 4,700 seminars today, so we've trained nearly 5 million people in the field of sales. So it's been an exciting run. But again, speak about something you are passionate about, speak about something that you really are expert at, and then and here's a little saying, your talent will take you as far as you should grow, as far as you should go. Meaning, if you have the skill of the art of speaking and teaching, the people will pay to hear you, you'll get more bookings, you'll get busy. And of course, I've slowed down quite a bit, but I went through about a 15-year period where I was doing 10 to 12 engagements every month after month for 15 years.
Wow.
Today, I only do about 4 a month, which is enough to give me plenty of time to have my other passions, which are playing golf and, of course, traveling and having my wife and my kids and grandkids to be more around. Because when I was at the height of my selling career, I wasn't home a lot. I worked 7 days a week for my first 3 years, took 3 Christmas days off, which again, Arthur, many people don't want to pay the price for success. And there's a price of commitment of time, commitment of effort to where you build a business to people where people hear of your reputation and they want to hear your message.
You are experiencing a life-changing, powerful interview, and you are hearing it first from Arthur Robinson Jr.'s PowerfulInterviews.com.
Now, at the age of 27, I was reading your impressive bio. You became a millionaire as a salesperson in the real estate industry. What was your thought process and what was your commitment by becoming a millionaire in the real estate industry?
Well, one of the things I did, I went to a lot of seminars when I was new. I listened to great, successful men and women who gave me their ideas. And one man said, Tom, you'll have no idea how homes in California will appreciate. And he says, I heartily suggest that you build your wealth not selling homes, but owning as many properties as possible. So I was like then at that age, 19, and I started trying my best to buy so many homes a year, and then, of course, went through the management challenge of renting them. But I held on to those homes, and I built my net worth primarily in equities and property. And my $1 million net worth at 27, 80% of that was the equities and the properties I had purchased and held for many, many years. And so again, the wealth is not so much in your cash or your net worth and liquid assets as they should be in tax benefit properties and the capital gains benefits you have in investing in real estate. And I still think that we haven't seen the best as far as what real estate investment can do. I suggest anyone listening that they really make a commitment that they're going to start doing research. And one thing you can do is find a top real estate company in your city, go in and ask the manager who the top salesperson is, then get that top salesperson to know you want to invest in some rental properties, but have him become a partner and put in part of his commission so that in a way he's getting the benefit and also you're getting someone to help you in the real estate field find good properties and manage them. And that's kind of how I started building my net worth.
Wow. This is an incredible interview, and I appreciate you coming on my show today.
Well, thank you.
Tom, can you explain to the listeners in your own powerful way, what is your definition of marketing, and what does marketing mean to you?
Well, I think marketing is the plan the company has to bring a product or service to the consumer at a profit. Selling is the people that are the actual point of sale person that goes out either inside sales on telephone or outside sales into a territory, and they, of course, sell the product. So the marketing is the management plan of bringing it to the marketplace. Selling is the people that take it to the marketplace.
So would you say that marketing done right is the quickest path to the sell?
Oh, definitely. Any of the companies that you see, the IBMs, the great large companies that have thousands of people that are in the field of sales, they're only as good as their marketing plan that then creates the product and services, research and development, and then, of course, the ability to get it to the consumer at a profit, which is the actual selling situation.
Tom, can you explain to the listeners in layman's terms, what is the best advice that you have ever received?
Oh boy, that's a good question because I'm a sponge. I take advice from anybody that's done well because if they've done well, they can tell me something to help me do better. But I would say one of the best advice I ever got was from a very wealthy, successful man. And he said, Tom, I have lived by 12 words, and I'm going to give them to you and suggest that you live by them. And then he went on to explain, he says, Tom, all of us as human beings have 86,400 seconds in our day. No one has any more, no one has any less. But the people at the end of their life that seem to accumulate not only the most wealth, but the most success in all areas of their life, they live by these 12 words. So, of course, I took these 12 words, put them on a plaque. I've lived by them, and they go like this. I must do the most productive thing possible at every given moment. And if you think about those 12 words, I must do the most productive thing possible at every given moment, what you're really saying is, from moment to moment, I'm going to do what's productive, the best thing for my long-term happiness and success, and that's what most people don't do. They lose focus. And if there was one word that I think people have to work on and staying focused on achieving their short-term, their long-term goals, and if you lose focus, you'll get off base and you'll usually get yourself messed up and have to then reorganize yourself to get back on focus.
Wow. That's powerful.
Well, thank you.
You are experiencing a life-changing, powerful interview, and you are hearing it first from Arthur Robinson Jr.'s PowerfulInterviews.com.
Now, Tom, can you explain to the listeners so they fully understand. How can entrepreneurs and business owners build the right team for their business so they can actually take their business to the next level, to the 10 or to the $20 million level?
Well, that's a really great question, and of course, that is a management question. And when I left selling after 5 years, I spent 3 years then managing a large real estate company. And of course, management of people and managing and building a profitable company and business is, again, much different than selling. And I was very fortunate. Here again, I've always been so blessed to meet men and women who have done what I want to do successful, and then I learn from them. But one of the keys to building a team is your recruiting process is very important. Some companies will hire anybody that's breathing to come to work for them. And I think that that's a total mistake. I think you really have to develop the art of interviewing properly. And one thing I found out when I would interview a person that was possibly going to come to work on my team is I began really by analyzing the past track record. Because there's a real general truth here. Show me your past and it'll tell me a lot about your future. So I'd find out how long the person was on the last job. Have they been with 6 companies in the last 6 months, which means they will not probably stay with me and be loyal and work hard to build my company. And so the interview process is so important. Also, I think new people you recruit, they have to become part of the mission statement of the company. And the mission statement is very, very important to where you're committed to build a business based on the quality service, based on giving more to consumers, giving more to your clients than average companies do. And of course, I was a fanatic on finding out what the competition did and then do more and find a better way to do it. And this is something I think you need to do. But I think when you recruit a person, you have to instill this belief that we are going to make profit, but we're going to help the consumer and the people we serve do well. And it's kind of like your talk show as an example. I can just tell that you're excited about helping others. I can tell that you want them to benefit. I can tell that you invested time and effort to get myself, and I'm sure many of your speakers and people on the show, so that the person that is tuning in walks away with something they can make a profit with and have a better life with. And so you're living, in essence, what I believe. Give and you will receive. If you only think about receiving and not giving, you'll probably not really do an outstanding job.
You said give and you shall receive, and I do believe in that powerful statement. The whole premise of my showtime is to educate entrepreneurs and business owners on a global scale that they can have the life that they want, but they have to implement what they learn when it comes to these important principles.
Definitely. In fact, I really believe that applying whatever you learn is so important. I'll give you an example. I have my seminars, as you know, all over the world. And I'll come back to a city, and there'll be 2 people come back for the next seminar, and one of them has doubled their income and is on track to have the best year of their life, and the other person has not changed at all as far as making more money or being a better skilled person. And the basic truth is you've got to apply that which you're taught, because if you don't apply it, you won't internalize it. And if you don't internalize it, it won't become you. And if it doesn't become you, you can't transmit it to others.
Wow. Now, Tom, let's elaborate about delegation.
Okay.
Now, I know a minimum wage of a millionaire is around $524 an hour. And I always tell my listeners or my clients that what can you actually delegate for $524 an hour, or what can you delegate that is within your budget in regards to delegating tasks that you're not good at so you can focus on the meat and potatoes in regards to growing your business. How do you feel about delegation, and should entrepreneurs and business owners really delegate tasks out to other people that are highly qualified to pursue those tasks?
Well, this is a beautiful subject because, first of all, like when I was brand new, I was everything. I was the president, vice president, janitor, because it was just me. But I, over the years, found that the key is to delegate to other people that do what you shouldn't do or what will keep you from doing where the most income is. Like right now in my company, I'm so fortunate. The average person that has been with me in Tom Hopkins International has been with me over 34 years.
Wow.
And people don't stay 34 years in the same company unless they're not only happy, but they are seeing that they are getting paid well. And also, of course, they see the potential of helping the company build. But I come back to the fact that, I have a controller that for 34 years has handled all of the company's assets and the money and the investments. I have Laura Owen, she's president of the company, who handles all of the seminar coordination and bookings. I have Judy Slack, who writes my material as far as putting books together with me. So anybody listening, the way you build a business is to have other people help you build it by doing things you should not be doing. Like for me to sit in an office and worry about the finances, it would be a waste because my job is to get out on the road, get on a stage, teach people the art of selling, the art of being an entrepreneur, the art of creating a big company. And so I have to do what I do best, and that's good for everybody.
So it's good to leverage off of other people's talents and other people's gifts.
Definitely. In fact, I feel if you look at anyone, I remember back when the automobile company Chrysler was absolutely just about to go bankrupt. And I mean, it was close to going under, this huge, old, fabulous automobile company. And of course, Lee Iacocca, who at that point became the president or the owner, the chairman of the board, he jumped in and in essence turned that whole company around. And if you don't think that's selling, I don't know what it is, but he sold everybody and we're going to put this darn company back in good shape. And I think the company has done very, very well. I think they've got some of the nicest vehicles today out on the road, and they have totally rebuilt themselves by selling themselves on selling.
Wow. Yeah, it's just like when Jack Welch turned General Electric Company around to a great phenomena brand.
Definitely. Very similar situation.
Now, Tom, I wrote down some powerful words, 5 being the highest and 1 being the lowest, so you can rate them in your own powerful way. Are you ready?
Sure.
Accountability.
Well, I feel that's something that's really somewhat being lost in our country in general. We have a very, I feel, wishy-washy group of people in the country that don't want to be held accountable because they aren't accountable to themselves. And I think accountability is critical. I mean, you have an obligation. If you have a family, you are accountable to do a great job in your business. If you're an entrepreneur, you have to be accountable to the people that follow you, because if you're the leader, they have got to be excited about you being in front. And by the way, if you want to know if you're a good leader, just look behind you and see who is there. If no one's there, you got to get to work on your leadership skills.
Perseverance.
Well, that's a P word that is so incredible. I feel that the most successful people I met are persistent. They know they're going to have days of failure. They know they're going to have days of being rejected, but they never quit. In fact, I've tried to teach people who follow my teaching that you've never failed in life until you quit, and if you're still trying, you're succeeding.